Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. I'm a beauty consultant and today we are talking about some new products. So we have the new Very Valentino concealer. I also have the new finishing bronzer type of product from Hermes. And then I am trying and comparing the Dior 001 Pink Viral Blush to the ONESIZE Cheek Clapper and Attention Seeker. So we got some good things going on in this video today, so stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it. And if you are new, I would love for you to click that subscribe button, join the Glam Girl Squad, because we love to have you. And let's get right into this video. Okay, so first starting off with the Very Valentino concealer. This does retail for $35. It comes in 20 shades, and I did pick up the shade MN4. This shade is described for medium complexions with a neutral undertone. It says that this is going to be a 24-hour wear, care-infused full coverage concealer with a weightless second skin sensation, and it's going to have a smooth and creamy formula, and it's going to comfort the skin, hydrate the skin. It contains caffeine and vitamin E to depuff and brighten the eyes contour. So we get a total of 6.5 milliliters of product, or 0.2 fluid ounces. And what's also interesting is the actual doe foot applicator. So it's shaped like what they say a feather, and it says the flat surface, which would be this side, is for buildable coverage, and then you see the pointed tip here. That is going to be for precise application. So this particular concealer, first of all, not a lot comes out on the doe foot. Like, honestly, very little of it comes out on the applicator, which for me, I would like a little more product, but then I'm like, at least you don't have to worry about too much product coming out all at one time. So when applying this to the face, I definitely like dipped in multiple times to get the amount of coverage that I wanted for the initial application. The formula is also quite thin. I'm hoping you can kind of see it when you're looking at it up close, but the formula is very thin. It's not one of those thick formulas at all, but it's not thin to where it's running down my hand. So you don't see any movement of the concealer just with it on the back of my hand. So it's a very interesting formula. Like, I almost want to say it's a thin, precise application type of formula, because where you put it is where it's going to stay. It's not going to run everywhere, but you're also not going to get, like, if I take the concealer right out of the tube and literally apply it to my face, I'm not going to have an excess of the foundation. So I think it's actually pretty cool. I just wish a little more came out so I didn't have to dip my brush back into the container all the time. Typical Very Valentino packaging here. And so applying it onto the skin, I remember the first time I applied it, I was like, I don't know about this. Something felt a little off to me. And I think it was, I don't know what it was. However, I have worn this concealer. This is my second time, well, technically my third time wearing it. And I'm like, oh, I like you. I like you. Okay, so here's the thing. I really enjoy this neutral undertone. I enjoy the blend. It is very creamy, blends very effortlessly into the skin. There's no pilling of the product either, so I don't think this is one of those concealers that you've got to wear like a particular type of eye cream, because if you wear the wrong one, it's gonna pill. I haven't experienced any of that so far, at least with the eye creams that I use. I use eye creams either from La Mer or Chantecaille, and so far it likes both of them. Now, I will tell you, my eyes started watering, and I hate that. Like, my makeup is fully done, now my eyes want to water. Like, don't you know I'm doing a review today? You can't be doing that. So if you do see a little bit of the product kind of worn away right around here, it was because of my eyes watering. It's not because of the concealer. And you can see the difference on this side compared to this side. But coming in close, I wanted to point that out. Coming in close, I do think this concealer is really, really pretty. And it does have really good lasting power. So the second time I wore it for, I would say, a good solid 8 hours, and I was like, okay, you're definitely still there. This is, though, a concealer that I do think you're gonna wanna set for sure, because it is more of a hydrating and a creamy type of formulation. I've noticed that when applying it to the face, if I just let it sit there, it is gonna crease. So this is not a formulation where you could just apply it and be out the door, unless you don't have a lot of fine lines under your eyes and you're like, I just don't set my concealers. But this is one that I would recommend setting for sure, just so that you don't get that extra buildup within the fine lines of your eyes. I really enjoyed the brightening effect that comes from this concealer. Like, oh, do y'all see that? It's so pretty. And in terms of the depuffing, I mean, I do think I could see a little bit of that because, you know, in most cases, I don't get a lot of sleep. And so I do tend to have puffiness around the under portions of my eyes. And I would say that I don't think I see it as much. I'll definitely report back with continued use to see if I notice that depuffing effect. But I really like how my under eyes are looking. Like I said, I really like this brightening effect that's going on with this concealer. So I would say for skin types, honestly, I think this could go for almost every skin type. I would even say oily. I would say try it out, because once you set it with your powder, it's not overly luminous to where like it's still gonna be extra dewy even through your powder. So I would say this could be a concealer that all skin types would enjoy. In terms of it being full coverage, I would say that you have to build to that. So I would recommend applying one layer, blending it out, maybe let it sit for a little bit, and then applying more of the concealer. I think you could get a really good strong medium, maybe to full coverage, with adding more layers. Now, it's not full coverage right out of the container, but I do think we could build to that for sure. So I do think that it could be full coverage based off what it's saying. 24 hours worth of wear. I don't know about 24 hours because I'm not wearing anything for 24 hours, but I do think we get some long lasting wear. So far, after the few times I've worn this, I like this, and I will definitely keep using it. Now, y'all, if you see my past couple of videos, Givenchy's Prisme Libre Concealer, honey child, this thing be thinking. I'm thinking about comparing the two of these concealers. You guys let me know if y'all want to see a comparison between the two. I'm thinking of that. So, I don't know. I can't tell you if I like Valentino. Actually, I can't say. So far, Givenchy is still like reigning supreme, but I think I need to do a comparison to really make that decision. So, y'all let me know. Okay, now, Hermes has come out with a new product. So, this is called their Healthy Glow Mineral Powder, and it does come in 5 shades. I picked up shade 04 Sienna, and it's Hermes's packaging for me. Now this joker, it's around $100, okay? And Chelsea, is it worth it? It does have fragrance, which I do enjoy. It's a light floral fragrance, but there is fragrance. And there's also fragrance with the Valentino concealer. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's a very, very light fragrance, but there is fragrance to it. Okay. Now, is anything worth $90 in makeup? And my answer is gonna be yes, okay? And is this worth $90, Chelsea? And my answer is gonna be, I really like it. I really like it. Okay, so this particular product is marketing itself to be a multi-use product, because you've got a deeper shade right down the middle, then you have more of like a medium shade that forms the H of the emblem, and then you've got this lighter shade here. So in theory, you could use this for an eye look, or you could use this for like kind of a multi-dimensional bronze look. So what I did was I went in with my Sonia G. This is her Niji brush. I know I said that wrong, so forgive me. But I went in with this brush because of its shape, and I knew that I could get this right in that like middle area of the H, which is what I did. I wanted to go for the deeper shade. Applied this to the cheeks, and it's stunning. Definitely more of a warmer type bronze. It's got a nice reddish hue to it, but it's not overly red to where I think it clashes with my more neutral undertone. And so I think it's really, really beautiful. Formulation is nice and pigmented too. When I first applied this, I was like, I don't think I can see it. And then I walked away and I was like, oh, yeah, I can see it. So a little bit of this product, in my opinion, goes quite a ways. I didn't have to build up this shade to get it noticeable on my skin because I like a nice bronze. Like, I want you to see the bronzer. I'm not one of those people that like wants just like a kiss of bronze. No, I want to look like I've been in the sun. That's how I want to look. So I primarily use that shade down the middle. There is a deeper shade, but I felt like the deeper shade might have been too warm and red for my complexion, so that's why I didn't get it. And for my nose contour, I did go in with this shade, and I use a eyeshadow brush to just, you know, keep it concentrated around the nose. And I do think you can see it. So I would say that if I were just kind of rushing, I would swirl my brush all through this and just apply it. And I think I would get a really nice bronze from this particular bronzer. It might be a little lighter if I'm swirling my brush all the way through because I'm not just concentrating along this vertical strip. But I do think this shade does show really nicely on the skin. I mean, for me, I love the formulation. I will most definitely be using this. And I did want to do just a little comparison, nothing major, but a little comparison between the Gucci bronzer because this Hermes bronzer it's a little luminous. If you look up really close, and I don't know if y'all be able to see it, you might be able to see little flecks in it. And they're not flecks that you will feel. You don't obviously see them on the skin, but they're flecks that you can see up close. So let's do a nice little swatch of this Hermes bronzer. So there it is right there. And then here is the Gucci bronzer, one of my still favorite bronzers across the board, especially if I want a really warm bronze. This is in the shade 04, and we're gonna do a nice little swatch of this. Highly recommend the Gucci one as well. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that one either. And here is the Gucci bronzer right there. So looking at them, you can see that the Gucci bronzer is definitely going to be a little lighter versus that vertical strip from the Hermes bronzer. And I would say that the Gucci bronzer is gonna be a bit more warm than the Hermes bronzer. I feel like the Hermes bronzer now looks more, almost a little more neutral compared to the warmth that we see from the Gucci bronzer. So if you have the Gucci bronzer, now let me do this. Let me swirl my finger all through the product. This is what the Hermes bronzer looks like if you swirl your brush all the way through, because I took my finger and just swirled it through the pan. And so you can see that the Hermes bronzer is gonna be a little deeper and a little more neutral than the Gucci bronzer. I just re-swatched the Hermes one just to make sure I like swirled my finger through, and I did. I couldn't remember, so I wanted to make sure. But yeah, I would say if you have the Gucci bronzer and you're like, am I kind of duplicating the shade depending on what shade you got? I don't think you would duplicate the shade at all. I think also the Gucci bronzer is just gonna be a little bit more luminous than the Hermes one, and I'm noticing that from looking at it up close. I don't know if you all can see it on camera, but the difference is slight. So on the cheeks, I don't think you would notice too much of a difference at all in terms of like the luminosity that's coming from the Gucci bronzer compared to the Hermes bronzer. So, I mean, in my opinion, if you have the Gucci bronzer and you wanted the Hermes one, I don't think you're duplicating yourself. But at the same time, you know, that's a choice you have to make. But I really like it, honey. You can't tell me nothing. I really like it. I think it's great. I'm not disappointed that I spent the whopping almost $100 on it. But that's just me, because y'all know I be liking makeup. So you make the choice for yourself. And just as FYI, all links for these products will be down in the D box below. I always appreciate whenever you do decide to support my channel and shop through my links, because it does help me to buy more makeup. But thank you anyway, in all honesty, if any of you all do decide to shop through my links. Okay, and then lastly, let's talk about these blushes. Okay, so the Dior, what's the formal name? The Color Awakening Universal Blush Natural Healthy Glow Blush in the shade 001 Pink went viral. Okay, everybody was talking about it. Everybody loved it. Oh my God, this is the best pink blusher, and it's like so complimentary on all skin tones. And sometimes when things go viral, I just don't be buying into it, because I'm like, people be lying. They do, and like, I don't know. Well, one of you guys convinced me, like, Chels, honestly, you should really get it. And I was like, okay, got it. And now I'm like, I get the hype. Okay, first of all, I look at this, I think bubblegum pink with like a hint of lavender, really cool toned. And y'all, look how warm this looks on my cheek. I was not expecting this. I was like, oh my gosh, where did they do this at? Like, this is amazing. So I need more. Like, I need more of these Dior blushes. I love the formula, very matte formula, but blends really nicely into the skin. And even look at that, on the back of my hand, this looks like it's gonna be more cool tone, almost maybe even a little ashy. But on the cheeks, it gives flush. This is flushed. Now, I did add a little bit of another blush that I'm gonna talk about, but you saw in the demonstration, like we get warmth with like a hint of coolness from this blush. Like, where do they do that at? If you have more shades of this type of blush, leave them down below if there are shades that you think I might enjoy, because you know the Sephora Spring Savings event is coming up starting April the 4th, I believe. And your girl is gonna be picking up more because I really enjoy this formula. And how cute and compact is the packaging as well. Great to travel with, so I need more. But I'm loving how like smooth and blendable this looks on the skin. But it's the warmth from me that like just blows my mind, because I was not expecting it. I was expecting it to be much more cool, almost ashy on my complexion. Looking at like how it looks on my skin, I would say that this could be a blush that could work for deeper complexions, like more like richer complexions, because you see the warmth against my complexion. So it might look obviously a little more cool against a deeper, richer complexion, but it really could work. Like, I want to put this on my mom, because she has a really deep, rich complexion, to see how it looks on her. And if I do that one day, like I might put it on here somehow. It won't be today though, because she lives in Virginia. I'm in North Carolina, but this is beautiful. Okay, so I was like, well, let's compare it to the other blush that's been going viral in and out of stock, the One Size Cheek Clapper in Attention Seeker, okay? Now, when I saw this, I was like, I knew I wanted it. And it's stunning. So on this side of the face, I started off with the cream product. Cream product is really nice. It's not thin in its formulation, and I really like it. Like, this would be a cream shade that I would wear by itself. I really do like it. And this is giving me like that hot pink shade that I want. So then after that, I put on the powder right here, and I compared these two to the Dior blush, because I was like, let's see what they look like. And I really, really enjoyed this shade as well. I've worn this powder shade probably the most out of this cheek clapper, just, you know, on a day-to-day basis. I've definitely worn this product multiple times. Now, I will compare the Dior blush. I'll do a swatch right next to the One Size swatches, just so we can see it, and you all can see the difference between those products. So here we have Dior, and then these are the two swatches from the One Size Cheek Clapper in Attention Seeker. And I think we can see too the difference in tone as well. But it's so crazy how it translates on the cheek, because I think this cheek looked obviously more cooler than this cheek did. But looking at them on my arm, the Dior shade looks more cooler than these two. And I think it's because Dior might have, to me, it looks like it's got a little bit of lavender in there. Either way, I am loving both. So I've got to go to work and be about my day. So what I did do was I took a little bit of the Dior, applied it on this side, and then I took some of this shade here and applied it on this side to kind of make my cheeks look a little more even. But I feel like you can still see a little bit more of a cooler tone on this side of my cheek compared to this side of my face. So guys, both of these products are beautiful. And then they glow. Do y'all see the glow? Do you see the glow? This is such a iridescent highlighter type of shade that's got shifts of like blue and pink, but it works. Like, I can wear this to work comfortably and not feel like I look like a straight unicorn. You know, I'm always here for a unicorn look though. But it's really, really beautiful. So, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with either of these. And I think if you have a deeper, richer complexion, If you got a deeper, richer complexion that has a cooler undertone, I would say give this one a try. I mean, it may not tickle your fancy, but it really almost potentially could work, especially because both of these I think are giving more warmth than coolness. And when you look at this against, because I've seen this against a couple of different complexions. Now I will say this, if you have a deeper complexion than me and your complexion is really warm, I don't think this is going to look the best because this does have a cooler undertone. But if you have a deeper complexion and you're erring toward neutral or even cooler, this could really look stunning against your complexion, as well as this one. So I love both. I think if you're around my complexion, you can definitely pull off either one of these. It just depends on what you like. But that is the look, you guys. Let me know your thoughts on these products that I used in this video. Let me know if you've tried them, if you have them. And if you do have different complexions, especially when it comes to these blushes, let us know down below how you like it, if it works for you, so we all can get a nice, well-rounded understanding of these products. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.